Hey everybody, welcome back to Princess Friend. I am your host, Princess Friend. If you didn't actually get a chance to catch it, a couple of weeks ago, the MPG actually came to Minneapolis, did a great performance at First Avenue, and it was pretty special. If you want to stay in the loop, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you are notified directly whenever we put out a new video. It was most of the regular crew, minus a couple of other people, and plus a couple of other people, so it was pretty nice. It was a live streaming event that was put on by Nugs.tv, which I had never heard of this company before. I will say that I pre-ordered it, and then on the night of the actual concert, I tried to go and actually watch it, and it was really bad quality. The streaming was bad, it cut out so many times, but it was kind of interesting just kind of how not good the streaming service was, and they did the next day make some corrections and they were able to get that fixed, and they posted a new version up so that everybody could go ahead and watch it, but it lost a little bit of its energy not being live, and also it took them a long time. I think it was at least until like the next evening that they did it so that people could watch it, and I don't know, it was just weird. They did a bunch of songs that we all know and love from the MPG. The crew that was there was Tony M, there was also Damon D there, Tanya Barbarella, Sonny T, Levi, and Mayte actually made a special guest appearance, and I don't think that she's going to be at every appearance of the MPG, but she was at this one, and that was actually really cool. If you follow her Instagram, she was even posting things from off stage when she wasn't there. It was a nice like touch to be able to watch it from different angles. But they came out and they did New Power Generation, and it was a good version. Then they launched into Sexy MF, and I have a weird relationship with this song. When I saw Prince in 1997, he had started his no cursing thing, and whenever he came to that song, he still sang it, but he would be on stage and he would say, "You sexy mother," and he would be like, "Hey, don't say it though, we're gonna have fun with the song, but just don't say the cursing part," to the entire crowd. And of course, most of the people just couldn't help themselves because the sheer exhilaration of shouting "motherfucker" on the top of your lungs is just too much for some people.
Come here, baby. You right there, sing it. You sexy motherfucker. Oh, yeah.
So in this case, it's weird because whenever I hear it played live, it irks me when people shout "motherfucker" out there. And I mean, I'll say it, it's not like it's a bad word and I never say it or anything, but it feels disingenuous during this song. So the lead singer who was taking over for Prince, I believe his name was Dujuan Blackshire, and he was actually really good. They did Love to the Nines and he had a really good falsetto. I did have a little bit of constructive criticism for that song specifically, was then Mayte came out and it was a big deal and everybody cheered. And they did the "What's your name? Arabia. What's your age? Jailbait."
Name.
Arabia.
Age.
Jailbait.
Occupation depending.
Little many, but I really got a beautiful mind.
Fine, but
And they did it like very straight-faced. And I feel like that was an opportunity for them to kind of play around with that a little bit. You know, it's been over 20 years saying "I'm jailbait." They could have given like a smirk or a smile or had some fun with it, and they played it up really just like straight, and I don't know, again, like that felt odd to me. They were making a lot of kind of odd choices. Also, the guitar solo for Sexy MF, and I'm talking a lot about this song because this was one of the very first songs, like it was New Power Generation and then bam, Sexy MF. So these are the first experiences that they're kind of giving us as their reunion tour. And during the guitar solo, Levi was kind of scatting over his guitar solo, and like his singing chops are not necessarily all that great. So it was almost ruining his guitar solo, which was actually really good. What I also noticed about this crowd, and it was different when you were in the crowd, because I have actually know some people who were there, and they kind of remarked on like how energetic the crowd was and how fun the concert was. From the pay-per-view side of it, us watching it on TV, when they would try and interact with the crowd, they say, everybody say yeah, or whatever, or everybody scream or whatever, and the crowd wouldn't. It was weird, or if they did, it wasn't getting picked up on the mics or whatever. It felt less energetic as a concert because it felt like the crowd wasn't interacting, which made it feel more stagnant. I also want to just say a little bit about First Avenue. It's weird because when you watch Purple Rain, you think that First Avenue is this giant place, but it's like super tiny. And they had a lot of people on stage at one time, which made it feel slightly cluttered, and it felt like there wasn't a lot of room to move around. There were moments where Tony M and Damon D were trying to dance. I mean, and they were dancing, but there wasn't much room, so they couldn't go all out. So it was weird in that way. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that Dujuan was handling all of Prince's vocals, except for where Tony M would come in and he would do some of the raps that Prince used to do. But Dujuan, as good as his voice is, was also handling all of Rosie Gaines's parts. So when they got to songs like Cream or Call the Law, and he was trying to do Rosie's voice, it was not all that hot.
Call the law. We're getting busier. Call the law. We're getting busier. Call the law.
What they needed to have done was got possibly a female vocalist to come on with a strong voice, and they actually did for Nothing Compares to You. They had an artist by the name of Apollo Jane come out and sing Rosie's part during Nothing Compares to You. I do also want to say that Dujuan's hair was totally on point, and I thought that actually their voices, Dujuan's and Apollo Jane's, they harmonized very well. However, neither of them really hit any of the notes that were necessary to make that song as powerful as it needs to be. And there's a point in the middle of the concert where Tommy Barbarella does this solo where he does Anastasia and he does Venus de Milo, and he does a bunch of tracks that I'm like, those don't have anything to do with you. And it's kind of like the same thing where the Revolution will go on stage and they won't play songs that they didn't have anything to do with. Same with Sheila E. You'll notice that Sheila E. will play some of the early Prince stuff, she'll play some of the Sign of the Times and Love Sexy Prince stuff, and then she'll play a couple of things off of 3121 because those are the things that she specifically was involved in. And here it was just kind of weird. Of course, Tommy Barbarella's a great keyboardist. He did a very good job of it, but it felt wrong. Then they did Diamonds and Pearls, and during this song, Mayte actually comes back out, and instead of shaking her booty, she does ballet during this one. She finally gets to be the ballet dancer in the video, which was a role that the director of the video gave to somebody else instead of having Mayte do it. Apollo Jane is singing Rosie's parts during this one, so that was okay, but their voices didn't harmonize as well during this song as it did on the previous one, and you can also start to hear Dujuan's voice start to go. As they actually started going through Money Don't Matter Tonight and Call the Law, Willing and Able, Deuce and a Quarter, Daddy Pop, all these other songs, I'm noticing that Dujuan is not taking care of his voice. There are breaks where he could have easily gone and gotten, a drink, and he didn't. And you can see his voice struggling as the night goes on more and more, because he started off super strong and really, really sounding great. Then they play kind of an interesting kind of acoustic 7, and Mayte comes out and she does a wonderful belly dancing routine, which I thought was great. I mean, honestly, for me, Mayte was the star of this show. Even though she wasn't the one singing, every time she came out, she elevated the show much higher than it would have been without her there. Then they did some other things. They added horns to a lot of parts, and the horn heads were there, which was pretty awesome. They brought out a guest guitarist and vocalist, which he was okay. He did I Will Never Take the Place of Your Man. I wasn't super impressed, but on the whole, I think the concert was good. I find it weird that neither Michael Bland nor Kirk Johnson made the time to come to the concert and perform on this big stage, this big worldwide kind of platform that the MPG were giving themselves. Now, of course, it makes sense that maybe they're too busy to go on tour, but they're in Minneapolis. So I don't know why they didn't show up, but it just struck me as odd. And the people that they did get to replace them were good. I felt like the drummer was actually pretty solid, but wasn't necessarily connected to the rest of the group in the same way. It seemed like it was very methodical versus as being part of the experience. And I think that that's probably my biggest comment about the concert as a whole, going now into the conclusion. And I'm sure that they did, but it didn't feel like it was rehearsed. It didn't feel like they coordinated anything. It felt like they kind of got on stage and were just jamming. And if that was the goal, then awesome. But if their goal was to deliver an amazing performance that was going to put the MPG back on top, which they are always on top for me, I love the MPG, I think that they faltered. I think that if you aren't already an MPG fan, then this was not going to necessarily be something that was going to draw you in. Now, all that being said, I actually really enjoyed myself, even with the technical flaws, Dujuan losing his voice. I actually think Tony M was a really good and convincing frontman here. I think that he delivered his raps well. He interacted with other people on the stage super well. Like, it was almost like he was the master of ceremonies, like an MC, where he would make sure that other people got highlighted on stage, which I thought was super cool of him, and it made it feel like it was more of a team effort together. I want to definitely thank all the members of the MPG for doing that concert. It was an amazing experience, and it was wonderful and nostalgic to see them back on stage, and they really did kill it, even if I am a little bit gripey about it. Did you get to watch that MPG concert? What did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments. Also wanted to let everybody know that we still have the Patreon drive going on for, I think, another 2 weeks, and I would love to continue adding more and more people to that. That is a place where you can get bloopers, you can get exclusive content, you can get access to my blogs, where I talk about the channel, and every dollar is invested back into the channel so that we can keep enhancing what we do here. Also, everybody who is a patron by the end of the Patreon drive, which is October 12th, will get an amazing Princess Friend button, and that's what that looks like right there. They're pretty cool, actually. I enjoy them. Also, don't forget to hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. I actually posted a quick clip of me singing on my Instagram, as well as my brand new tattoo, some pictures on there. So if you're interested in kind of following us, let us know and we will be there for you. Otherwise, as always, may you live to see the dawn. Thank you to those of you who actually watched the end of the video things here. On that side are links to the Patreon and to the subscribe. And below me is the latest video that we've done, as well as one that is picked special for you. Because you're a special, special snowflake and we love you. Thanks for sticking around.